Hi everyone, so today I have a video sponsored by Tonic Studios to share with you guys for their new set here. It is the Christmas Cheer stamp and stencil set. This looks a little, excuse me, so they did send these items free of charge from my review, and of course all opinions are my own. Any links down in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So full disclosure, I am redoing the intro because I had misspoken about what was in the bundle, so I just want to be very clear. So this is for the Christmas Cheer, again, stamp and stencil set. It is a photopolymer stamp. Really, it just smells so good and amazing. We'll talk about that in just a second. So this is the project that we will be working on. I had went ahead and made my video, but like I said, I misspoke as far as what was in the bundle. So I wanted to redo the intro and probably redo the outro, and just so it's clear that it's these items that are in that set. In the video, I do talk about the 3D Christmas set, which is already available, and I use it for the sentiment here, but just know that this is its own thing on its own, the 3D Christmas die set. Okay, so I'll have that linked too in the description box if you're interested. And so this is what we're making today. So I already have it here ready to show you guys because, again, I filmed the video and I just want to make sure that everything's nice and clear for you guys. So this is what we'll be making. It's a watercolor based card, paper based card with some pretty watercoloring with inks and a sparkle brush. So check that out in just a minute. But the set here, we have the stencil, gorgeous Tonic stencil, really nice quality, and with those little swirls, we have little decorative elements with the like holly and just sprigs, a little bell. We have the Christmas tree here with like some little star accents, and you can separate those things out. If you want to, isolate obviously different little pieces of this, all you would do is just put some tape around where you don't want, stenciling or however, and then stencil, and that way none of these other areas get onto your project. Little gift, really cute snowflake and all that. And then this is the photopolymer set, of course, the stamp set. I do want to show you that the little stocking does match up with the stamp, so if you want to color it in that way, you can do that. But I believe that's the only item that matches up. Yeah, so the other items are just kind of decorative items on their own. So let's get to checking this one out. So we have the little snowflakes here, we have sprigs, we have that little holly kind of wreath or berry wreath there, lots of little gifts and like little accent things, little swirls. Look at this little deer, or reindeer, I suppose. So cute. We have a little branch, which is really sweet because you can maybe hang like your little ornaments off of that, or put the little bird on there, or do both of those things. Oh, speaking of the little birds, look at how cute these birds are. They're one facing either way, and then there's little extra legs if you want to use their little legs, or if you just want them kind of like laying on something there. I did use the poinsettia, and that's what you see in the project there, and the leaves, so that's why it looks a little different here. We have Jingle All the Way, Peace on Earth, It's this season to sparkle, Don't Get Your Tinsel in a Tangle, which I love, that's so cute. All the little ornaments, and then again leaves and holly and just fun things like that. So this is the Christmas Cheer set that we will work with in the next scene here. So today I think I'm going to do something a little artsy. I have a piece of watercolor card here. I cut it down to fit an A2 size piece of paper, but I probably will mat it. So for now, I just have it at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I'll probably trim it down from there, which I like to do anyway whenever I use something kind of water-based and do something fun like this with the watercoloring, because the paper gets wonky, right? As we know, that can happen. So it's nice to kind of just trim it up and make it nice and squared up again. So for right now, what I'm going to do is place this on here. And what I'm going to do is stamp all over this. Now normally when I do that, I would put like a little background paper. Actually, I'm going to bring it down here, even though hopefully it doesn't move. Because I want to do something more organic. I like to stamp off the edges when I do it that way. What I'm going to do today is take the poinsettia flower, and again, photopolymer stamps, you can get them primed and ready. What I'm going to do is start just stamping off like that. And then I'm going to color them in. I'm not sure what I'm going to color them in with yet, but for right now I'm going to use the embossing watermark ink. I'm going to use some gold embossing powder, which is actually this. If you like better to use pigment inks and then just seal them with clear embossing powder, there's lots of ways to get the color in your embossing. So again, either with a colored embossing powder, or you can even match it up if you have a gold, ink that you like, and top it off with gold. It'll just make it that much more vibrant. So for today, I'm going to use the clear watermark ink and the embossing powder. I am definitely going to pop this on here, even though it's not going to be super important, but this is just a anti-static pouch. And we're going to keep that there. And I'm going to, again, just start stamping in an organic way. I am going to do some leaves too, but I think first I'm going to do the flowers just so I know where I can place the leaves better. So what happens with this stuff is that you cannot really see where you're stamping until you're done. But if you hold it up, and especially because this is watercolor paper, it's going to take in a different way. If you hold it up, you'll see like little glimmers. I can't even show it to you guys right now. I can see that there. Me personally, here where I am, I can see that, that it did stamp. I'll do it another time just in case. And this is just going to be fun and artsy anyway, and then I'll just use die cut sentiment there. So I'm going to place that there. And let's say like another one here maybe. Now since that moved, that's not great, but that's okay. And I'm just going to stamp them all twice just to make sure, because it's especially hard to see with watercolor paper if you really got that going. So we're going to do this. And then, you know, try to turn your stamp so it doesn't look the same every time. I'll stamp one like here. Oh, not great. Try not to let it move like I've been letting it move, because that will definitely put embossing ink. And even just that smallest amount will still hold powder, you know. And if this scares you, you can do one at a time. I'm just going for it. And whatever happens, happens. I'm trying to see. I have a flower there, I have one here, I have one there. And then maybe one like over here. Oopsie, come on, don't do that. Actually, I'm going to move this further away. Again, you can color this in with watercolor markers, with watercolors, with your Nouveau Shimmers, with the Nouveau Mousse, of course, because it's a water-based and you can mess around with it. I'm going to put one more on the edge over here and just a little bit, just so it looks super organic, right? I can see that one stamped pretty well. Okay. And usually I have something to pick up. Again, if you can see pretty well, you can go ahead and do your leaves. I just don't know that I want to do that yet, so what I'm going to do is get this going, and then I'll add leaves, and I'll be very careful when I go to apply the heat to them, since it'll already have some going. Okay. And I'm just going to take a moment. Again, this is a small pot that I have, so there. Just pick this back up, pour it back onto this card in the areas I need it to be. Just do it again until everything gets good coverage. And before I go ahead and heat set this, remember I had kind of put it down and I was able to see that it kind of ghosted. What you're going to do is just get rid of that. But that's why you use the embossing, the anti-static pouch first, to help you get rid of that stuff so it doesn't stick everywhere. And then I double stamped a little bit from when that first laid down. So I'm going to clean this up, and then I'm going to hit it with a heat tool and just heat set everything, because that clear ink is so sticky. So as you can see, wherever it just touched, it still got that. So now I'm going to heat set it with my heat tool, and I'll be right back. So I got that done. Just heat set it. A little worse for the wear on that one, but that's okay. We will take care of it. And then I'm just going to take my little leaves. So with this one, I'm just going to go around, kind of do my own thing. So I'm just going to dip it in here, and I'm going to do one more of this just in case, because you never know. Just set that, and you know, I'll maybe apply that one there. Maybe I'll put it kind of going off this edge over here, and just adding leaves randomly, and then I'll sprinkle again my my embossing powder and heat set it again. So just randomly adding leaves wherever. Plenty of leaves. And again, we'll just sprinkle that over. Okay, and I'll heat set it, and I'll be right back. As you're tossing this on here, you can, if you remember where you sprinkled it or where you stamped, you can just see the way it just all of a sudden shows up, the little leaves. Okay, again, I'll heat set those, and I'll be back. Okay guys, so I have quite a few things here. I was just going to bring out a water brush and just use some ink colors. I thought, why not? You know, we'll play with some ink instead of watercolor or whatever else we might do. But then I noticed, I grabbed the wrong one. I actually got Midas Touch. I meant to get this one. The Opal Quartz. And I thought, you know what? This might be a lovely thing to use. Now, you are going to get color on this. If that, you know, concerns you, then don't do it. But I'm just going to put down some Shamrock Green and some Parakeet Green. And I'm just going to squeeze this a little bit. And I also have a water brush here as backup in case I need that too. But what I'm thinking is, see how I just kind of did that? Grabbing some of my color is to come in here and just add my green in, and it's going to leave a little shimmer along with the color. So I'm going with a light green for now and just being very artsy about it, you guys. And what that means to me is just putting a little color here and there. I'm not being super picky about what's going on here. Love working Christmas in July when the birds are out chirping and I hear my little summertime birds. So just something like that, and I'll do the same thing with the red, and now I'm going to get some of this darker green and just bring that in there. And this is watercolor paper, but I'm just doing dry, you know, wet on dry paper. If you want to wet your paper, then you're going to get a different look. And I'm staying within the lines. If you want to be real artsy, you can just kind of drag it outside the lines, of course. And there's that. And I'm just going to quickly finish these last two up and I'll be right back. So I'm done with that. I'm going to wipe this off. And if I feel like I need to, what I would do is just run this under some water. Don't squeeze it because you don't want to get rid of your product, but just run it under water. And that just gives a slight look to it. It might be, you know, something you rather use just like a water brush, and you can always just use a water brush to do the same thing. Pick up your color and bring it in. And it's just not going to have a little bit of sparkle to it. That's all because it's a water brush. And with that one, I do give it a squeeze whenever I clean it off. Okay, so let me move on to the red. So what I'm going to do is put a little Glacier Cherry, a little rich rosewood here on my mat and get ready for that. And this time, same thing. I'm going to go in with a little bit of lighter. I give it a squeeze just to get some of the product out so I can dip into the product and that. And pretty much color the whole leaf with that. And then I'm just going to squeeze the product a little more. There we go. Pick up some of this deeper red and bring that down into the center and out. Usually I stay with one color at a time though, so I'll do all like this red. Oh, we have a little center. You know, I forgot about that, so I'll do that in yellow. The little center of the poinsettia. So there's that. I'm just going to wipe that off a little bit and just grab a little bit of this deeper red. And just starting in the center here, and where the petals kind of meet, wherever you think that darker red would be. Right in the center, coming out a little bit. And it's just adding a little variation of color. And I'll do the same thing with pretty much all of them. And then for that little yellow center, I'll just grab a yellow. Wonder if this parakeet. No. Let's see which yellow. I keep them in these little things. Let's do rubber duck, because that might pop a little more. So I'll use that one for the yellow center, and I'll just pop in the center, okay? But I'll be back. I think that looks awesome. I don't know if you can see, where can I show you the shimmer? I know it's hard to see, but it's there. I don't know if you can see that little shimmer there. So cool. So before I move away from this, I'm going to take some of this sparkle ink and Sparkling Mimosa. I know some people are afraid of this, but all I'm going to do, I'm not going to spray it because it'll make a lot of little sprays. What I'm going to do is just take it and flick it to have some larger something in the background. And if you want to come in and add a little more, you know, color, I just really want it to be really cool and organic just the way it is like this. So I'm going to clean up and we'll cut our sentiment and I'll be back. Okay guys, so we have our topper that we're going to trim down. And then this one, I went ahead and grabbed this just to do a matte layer. And this is the Golden Mosaic specialty card, and I cut it down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, so that's going to be my first matte layer. And then I'm going to pop this on top, so I'm going to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4, maybe a little bit smaller than that, we'll see, but I'll trim this down and I'll be right back. So we have that 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then 4 by 5 1/4. I'm just going to glue these down, and then we're going to cut a topper. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I glued those together. I will say, because you know I have to get my videos going, and generally when I splosh down the that beautiful gold gild look, it makes really perfectly round circles, and if you want to keep those, just leave it and let it dry and they'll do that. But for this time what I did is I just blotted them. That's why they look a little different now from when I first sprayed them. They're just a little more organic looking. But if you like the perfectly round, then just leave them for a while and they will dry perfectly round. The shape, of course, the water evaporates there. What I like to do with something like this to keep it flat is I will place something on top of it. So I'm going to place something heavy on top of my card just to flatten that out, because again the watercolor paper gets a little wonky. And what I'm going to do here is just take the Merry Christmas part, and I think what I'm going to do is cut from that same gold paper. I have a little scrap here. I'm just going to cut the background, and then on top I'm going to cut the Merry Christmas. Sorry, excuse me. So I have this little scrap here, which I think is Tonic's Opera Red metallic paper. I think that's what it's called. So I'll run this through with this to get our Merry Christmas, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay, guys. And then I'll just glue these two together. Oh my gosh, look how delicate that is. So pretty. So I resisted using black, but I love the way black looks, especially with like Christmas papers, you know, it's just so stark and pretty. But anyhow, I'm just going to glue this down. And since it is pretty delicate, what I'm going to do is put glue in the back of my hand and just dab this into the glue. Being careful not to get it on top. If you do with metallic papers like this, you can either wipe it away, you know, as soon as you see it, or just wait. It'll literally just wipe off, even with a little damp cloth, or even just with your finger, it'll come off. But let's get that going, and once that's set up, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of that, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So now we have our card here, and I have my little sentiment, again with a little dimensional adhesive on the back of it. And, you know, this is very organic. It just depends on how you like to style your cards, where you want that to be. I mean, we can pop it right there, but I feel like I can put it here since there's something, just a little space there. I feel like that looks the best. I mean, you can put it down here, wherever it is that you like. I mean, you want to orient it a different way. Whatever it is that you like. So for now I have it right here, and I think I'm just going to pop this here. Oh, let's get our card a little more straight so we can feel that we're putting that on there nice and straight. A little bit more like this. It's really cute because it kind of curves. I don't know if you see that. Really interesting. So I think what I'm going to do is make it go up just a little bit there. Okay. Alright guys, and there's our card. Artsy, fun. Just keep stamping. If you're doing, like, let's say several cards, I would just keep putting in my precision press, you know, another card topper, stamp, 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 another one, stamp, 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 you know, and just keep going that way. I think it'd be really fun. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Okay guys, so thanks for watching. Sorry about the rough edit, if it's edited roughly at all. I just wanted to, again, make it very clear that this is for the Christmas cheer, and that is what comes in the Christmas cheer set. It's the stencil and the stamps. Okay guys, and again I'll link the 3D Christmas tree die set, and thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much, Tonic, for sending these items for review, and I'll have images coming up, and I'll have the links in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.